Hey Nishant, very good morning.
Hi, good morning, Marcus. Good morning, everyone. Glad to see everybody here on a rainy morning in Mumbai, and but it's nice. So thanks for having me. Happy to talk to you guys, share my experiences, and of course add value to wherever I can.
Great. So, Nishant, I would like you to firstly start off by telling our viewers what is Neosoft all about. I mean, you guys have been in the industry for 23 plus years. If you could share some light on exactly what you guys do, so our viewers also can understand before we move more in depth with this conversation.
Sure. So we've been here for 23 years. We've grown with the industry. We've grown with all the enterprise customers we've worked for in the last so many years. We are a team of about 2,500 today, based out of Mumbai, Pune, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Noida. So it's spread across India. We're not the typical software development company. We call ourselves a partner for most of our customers, and that's how we engage with them, whether it's product development, digital transformation, legacy application, modification, modernization, or cloud migration. So typically us doing software services, but in a very different way, where we engage with them and we take up ownership and deliver what needs to be done. So we are a software company in the business with a full portfolio of services.
Superb. So, given the current situation we are in, and given that this company is so old, what does it mean to be a leader in such a competitive industry?
So yeah, it's a difficult industry. Things keep changing. COVID
Right.
comes in, COVID goes out. Something else will show up. There's a recession which hits every couple of years, or every in a decade it hits twice. So there are a lot of changes which happen in the industry. What we've done as an organization, I can only talk about that, and we also learn from the leaders in the industry, the our bigger brothers in the software development space. So we've tried to simplify the process of starting a project for companies. I believe that is one of the most challenging aspects in the industry. So people tend to just complicate things so much
Right.
that things can take longer than they should, and they don't even remain relevant. So what we've gone ahead and done is we have a team of people who can help organizations in the sector, in the banking financial space, to simplify their projects, to simplify and understand and break down the entire application, so that
Okay.
deliveries happen faster. They will start receiving information, data faster than they can imagine. So that's one. The other thing that we've done is we've focused on customer feedback. So we've looked at what customers tell us, how we should be modifying our services, what we specifically should be doing, where is the industry going, and accordingly we change our offerings for customers.
All
uh,
right. So,
there's a third engagement that we've added over there, where we value add the customer's team. So if we have a customer who comes on board and says, we have only so much time and we need to finish off our entire application, we go right there, add on a software development team, and help them speed up the entire software development process.
oh, superb. So, considering that these are the kind of services you guys offer, I'm pretty sure it's going to be very, very challenging given the current situation we are in. So, what are the major challenges that you actually face? So, servicing clients in India.
Right. So in the sector, the most important and challenging part is security. Anything that's built, is being built, already built, has to be looked at from a security perspective to a very great extent. And I believe that is one of the most challenging things in the industry. Just to give you an example, before the lockdown, we had client teams which were working in their offices. Some of the biggest banks, some of the biggest insurance companies in the country. I don't want to name them, but they are the largest in the country. After, during the lockdown, suddenly there was this lockdown. We used to do a lot of drills where we had people working from home, working on VPNs, working on secure environments, and logging in and carrying on work as usual. Fortunately, that paid off, and we still have teams after 5.5 months of lockdown across India, working and delivering what they have to. Second is data. So the BFSI segment, there's humongous amount of data that is generated, and that has to be taken care of in the right way. There has to be a strategy to build software or build analytics tools or machine learning today to be able to leverage that. I believe that is going to be and is the current challenging situation in the market. The third is efficiency. So
Nishant, just a
the
minute. I'm
BFSI.
just checking the chat, and people are saying there's a disturbance in the audio, so they cannot hear you clearly. So I think there's a huge echo coming in from your side. Ladies and gentlemen, am I clear to you folks? All right. So Nishant, I think there is.
I just unmuted. Fine now, or should I be using something else?
Yeah. So I'm pretty clear. I think the disturbance is from your side.
Okay, what kind of disturbance? I'm not sure. What should I be doing? Okay, I said your side sounds clear. Let me just try and off my headset. That should help so that I can computer audio.
Absolutely.
Am I audible
Yes.
now? Yeah.
Superb. I think the problem was with the headphones.
Yeah. So there you go, technology, right?
Right. So you can continue.
So yeah, so I mean it happens, and that's how you've got to modify. So I believe efficiently solving problems, efficiently providing, services, and efficiently providing teams of people to do to and deploy, migrate projects is I believe the most challenging part in the industry, because it's fast changing. So we have to make sure we're on our toes all the time.
Great. So another thing that just comes to mind since you are talking about the migration part, how does digital automation come into play, right? And how is it that you guys position yourself out here?
Right. So digital automation is, so the way I look at it is, right now, if you see, digital first is what most of the sector is going after. If you look at banks, you're using the app. If you're looking at insurance companies, you're using the app. So there will come a time where everything will be automated, everything will be self-serve,
Right.
and people like us will not be walking into a branch. I mean, I haven't walked into a bank branch for the last 15 years,
Right.
but I believe even the normal person will not be doing that. Second is, if you look at the payment wallets, and you look at the Paytms and the other payment wallets of the world, we've also been fortunate that we've worked on a few in the market, and they're pretty
Right.
strong also. So they will become the actual cash money that we that moves between people. Whether you walk into a Uber and you pay the guy, or you tip the Swiggy guy who delivers your parcel, it will all be happening over digital money. So that again becomes a part of digital automation, and linking this entire thing up to your bank, which is your brick and mortar, which is where your actual cash is lying. That is what I believe digital automation is, in case of banking, in case of insurance, and in case of the other people in the industry.
Right. So great. So as you said, you've got, been fortunate enough to work with so many companies on the whole. Now, I just want to ask you, what has been the most significant contribution by Neosoft to the BFSI industry?
So we've worked on a number of great cases in India and internationally. I believe the reason why that was possible is only because we were able to provide on-demand teams to these customers to actually execute their projects. So I believe providing that on-demand team to do and complete your project, or migrate your legacy application, is what our contribution is. Second, we've been able to add a lot of experienced talent. So, at Neosoft, we nurture talent. We bring people in, we give them an experience in the sector, and they become subject matter experts and are able to even consult customers, consult higher level IT managers as to what is the right direction, what is the right tech stack that you should be using for executing your project, or give suggestions to ensure that projects are efficiently delivered fast, in time, and will last for at least 3 to 5 years before you actually you call it legacy again.
Absolutely. So how do you empower the BFSI sector on the whole? So how do they get empowered?
So basically, the BFSI sector has a number of different segments. It's divided into whether it's client acquisition, whether it's maintaining relationship, whether it's actual transactional. We have experience in each of those segments. We can connect the dots across the spectrum of what is required, and that's how we lay the foundation of starting and carrying on and continuing the relationship with most.
All right, that's really nice. Now I'll want to ask you the final question, before we open the questions to the audience. And this is something that I would ask you as a salesperson to a salesperson. So if someone asks you, why should I partner with Neosoft? How would you differentiate yourself from the crowd?
So the answer lies in the question you asked. We don't want to sell. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
selling here. We partner with customers, and that
Okay.
is the keyword. That is always the keyword. If customers don't need something, we don't want to be selling it to them.
Right, absolutely.
We go in there, we understand the situation, we understand the challenges, we create solutions around that, whether it's providing an engagement team for testing the entire application, whether it's building the application from scratch, whether it's migrating your legacy applications into the cloud today, migrating it out because you ended up taking a wrong decision. So we are always there to partner up with the customer, consult them step by step, and I believe that's what differentiates us completely. All our engagements today have started 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and still our customers still are engaged with us. We're still adding value. So you can imagine we don't go in there for that specific solution or that specific period. We're just there as a partner, holding them across the entire spectrum of requirements, challenges, um, in the and opportunities that come up.
So,
So that's our differentiator. Second, and I must mention this, we
mhm.
have a team of 2,500 people spread across India. So we're very close to most customers. We can walk into their offices. We do deploy teams as well to work with their teams. So our teams will go and mix up and build the application the same way as your team would.
All right. So the last question which I would want to ask you, I understand we still have a minute, but this is very important. What and how do you see the future of the BFSI sector from a service perspective? If you could share some light on that.
So there's going to be a lot of savings for the sector, with the digital first. You will see branches which would now be probably 1/10 of the size of what a normal branch is. So there's a lot of savings over there. There's a lot of digital money which will, move around. So you're going to see a totally different, consumer.
Mhm.
And third, of course, it's challenging because customers are going to ask for more
Right.
using their applications. They're going to be closer to the bank or the insurance company, or anybody in the sector. They're going to be asking you for more. So all of these all of the companies in the sector have to be digitally ready and prepared to be able to address this. Otherwise, either they're going to be left behind, or they're going to have to catch up quite a bit.
All right. Perfect. All right. So I would like to open the questions to the audience. If you could write in your questions in the chat, we would like to take some really good questions.
Sleepy Saturday morning.
We'll just wait for a minute just to see if someone just asks us a question.
Yeah. But this is a fantastic platform, I must say that I've attended quite a few of these, and thumbs up to you guys for choosing this platform.
Thank you. As you said, you need to make it as simple as possible for the user experience, most importantly.
It's and that's applicable in every sector. If you don't change with the times, you don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. So, Suresh Ishwar Bulusu, he says, what about the security since we are rapidly moving into digitization?
So, like I highlighted before, that's one of the biggest challenges in the sector: security, connecting in, getting your remote workforce to connect in. For example, there could be other things like getting your customers to log into your portals. Security definitely has to be considered. There's multiple layers of testing that needs to be done across applications to ensure that they're secure. You're not losing on data. You're not going to have a wrong transaction going in, or your worst case, your data being exposed. over, when you're on the cloud, your data being exposed to the world. So absolutely, security is a very relevant segment. In fact, if you realize, a lot of the BFSI, in fact, most of them have a separate security team. They have a separate security leader called the chief security officer in the company, because there's paramount importance given to that. In other organizations, the CIO will take care of that,
Correct.
but in the BFSI segment, you have the CSOs, CESOs who take care of that. So we've been consulting them as well. We have an entire testing team which has helped multiple organizations in the sector and outside the sector tighten their security, tighten their applications, and take it out to the world.
Uh, Durgesh has another question. He says, I'm a little confused which platform is good for storage, cloud-based or in premises.
So it totally depends. So that's a very good question indeed, and a lot of the customers are confused about that. We've done a lot of migration in and out of the cloud. There are people want to ride the bandwagon, so they say, okay, let's just move to AWS, let's just move to Google Cloud, let's just move to Azure, without thinking whether they actually need it. So it's only needed if you have transactions which cannot gauge, and you don't know if they're coming in the morning or the evening. If you know what what's the trend of your transaction. For example, in the stock market, your transactions happen from a 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., 3:30
Right.
p.m. So that's your edge, and you want to be maintaining. Now, that could be interesting. The cloud could be a very interesting model for them, because they don't need to maintain the same hardware, the same specifications, infrastructure to support those clients. So it's something which totally depends. You've got to have the right consultant who looks at your application, looks at your data, looks at your loads, and then tells you what needs to be done, whether it's going to save you money or you're going to be reverse migrating.
Absolutely. All right. So we've done with the time, and I think we can take this another question. Okay, we'll just take the last question for you. All right. So where slash how do you see the Indian IT organizations in the digitization, especially when we have a big players in the international market such as Calypso, ION, etc. when it comes to investment banking, especially?
Right. So if you're looking at a ready-made solution, or rather, if there is a ready-made solution in the market, let's talk about, okay, the investment banking. Definitely, that's a product. But if you look at the banking, you have the Finaccels of the world which are leading. However, you still see that there are sub applications around the core suite of or the core software which runs your
Right.
business. And that is going to be the driver of innovation. That is going to be the driver of attracting customers and differentiating your organization in the to your customers. So most organizations are now focusing on that layer, because this is done and dusted. This is done. If you're a stock exchange, you've got to go to a specific IT vendor. They've got 300 stock exchanges across the world lit up. But how do you change the experience for your audience? You got to differentiate, and that is where companies like us come on board, where we can create those digital experiences for your customers, so that you can retain them, you can give them an experience which pulls them away from the others.
Superb. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Nishant Rathi, Director from Neosoft Technologies.